Hello, everyone, and welcome to a show that has no name. It's like Arya Stark, a girl has no name in Game of Thrones, which I'm
Oh,
rewatching right now.
mud on your face show again, huh?
What?
The old mud on your face show, right?
Oh yeah. There is
Everyone's got mud and they're dirty and
yeah,
they're wearing animal fur.
yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen an episode, Jeff.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, there's dragons too, and they're awesome. So
yeah. I've
well,
seen the dragons wipe out people though. I've seen highlights. The dragons look like something. Are we dumb because we have mud on our face, and we're not very smart? Because if I saw the dragons, I would say we need to get the hell out of here. The dragons are about to kill us all, And then oh no, some guy's like, oh you've given us the dragon, and she hands over the reins, and the dragon just, and the next thing the guy's like incinerated.
yeah.
I think if I saw the dragons, I would be, we need to leave now before we get incinerated.
Well, you've just forfeited a kingdom, Brian. One that we've been trying to fight to defend and rule for a
Is
long
this
time.
Winter Park? Where we defending Winter Park? What are we doing?
There's Winterfell. Winterfell is in the north. Yes, the north remembers.
I say Winter Park. That's the old Minnesota Vikings facility. They were in Winter Park.
That's Brian. Even in Game of Thrones talk, it's football.
I figured the show would have something to do with them defending Winter Park, and then the Vikings, which is a totally another show, they could come in and like fight the dragons, and that would be no good because the dragons, they carry people and they blow fire, which that's just devastation right there.
The Wildlings, not totally unlike the Vikings, by the way. This show brought to you by our friends at Bet Online, your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season, from baseball, golf, soccer, right up to the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads while the game's being played. When that's over, you can head over to the online casino, play some blackjack or poker. They got a bunch of slot games. Head to the website today, get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% bet credit on your first deposit, up to $250. Bet Online. The game starts here. Look at that. Got that out of the way. Okay.
How about this? Bet on the dragons.
Dragons do well.
Dragons are the favorite. Everybody else, huge underdog.
Yeah.
Huge underdog in this game.
Do you think maybe you have ADHD?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never had it tested before. Got some questions for you though, Jeff.
I have a question for you too. So
I'm not going to ask. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an old man now. I'm 60 years old. I'm past all. It's like my dad, who's 85 yesterday, goes, I'm putting on a little weight eating that ice cream. I go, damn, Dad, you're 85 years old. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? If you've eaten like 100 cheeseburgers today, who cares? You're 85 years old. Do what you damn want to do.
And you are going to eat a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs today. It is hot dog day. It is hot dog day, which makes it a great time to ask.
Now this is a hot dog bun.
I think it's a hot dog too.
Is it the hot dog or is it the bun?
It's the hot dog every time.
Yeah, you need a good
Every
dog.
time it's the hot dog. And I'll tell you another thing. Condiments. If you're one of those guys or gals that's out on condiments, and I know you are, shame on you. You do not deserve the glory of the hot dog if you're out on condiments.
I would like to say to you that I think the hot dog needs to stand on its own two legs. And it doesn't
The hot dog, if prepared correctly, not boiled in water. I get it. Some people are like, oh, my kids need a quick meal. Da, 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 da. No. Take the time. Cut it in half. Grill it. Char it. Make it have some flavor to it.
I microwaved 2 hot dogs yesterday.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Hey, if you would have told me, hey, Brian, like you just did.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure he did. He
absolutely.
He just microwaved 2. They shriveled up. The skin on the outside was rubbery and all that. But you know what you did? You ate the 2 damn hot dogs is what you did.
I did.
No condiments. Just put the shrivelly, rubbery hot dog on the bun, which probably was stale. Probably no thought put into that you could also toast those off.
It was Kroger brand, right out of the bag.
Yeah, right out of the damn bag. And I guarantee you didn't even put the little tie thing back on the bag. You just wheeled it around and then put it in the pantry.
How did you know that?
And because I cleaned up your kitchen before.
I wheeled it around and then I tucked it underneath.
Yeah, and you folded it right next to the cans of baked beans,
it's actually
of
on the
Bush's
counter.
baked beans.
No, it didn't make it. It didn't make it to the pantry. It's still on the counter.
Folks, I'm a guy that hates clutter. And Jeff hosts some legendary parties. As a guest, I feel like, listen, let me help Jeff out here. I'll clean up because he's going to be hungover in the morning, and he's not going to want to do. Yeah, he's not going to want to right now. Is that what we're saying? That's why we had 2 microwave hot dogs. So as a friend, I just clean up and make sure, I don't put everything back in the right place. I'm sure Jeff kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh, geez, where's my Tupperware stuff? It's not here." Da 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 da.
Fine, I'll find it.
But I tell you, I would like to have $1 for every one of those little claspy things that hold the buns, or the hot dog buns, or the hamburger buns. I'd like to have it. I wouldn't have to do this podcast anymore.
Yeah, lots of claspies and lots of twisties.
A lot of twisties, a lot of claspies, all these things. Jeff just leaves laying around.
Somebody left this Stanley Cup at my house, and it's kind of peach colored, so some people might think it's female, but a buddy of mine was cleaning for me the other day, and he cleaned out this Stanley Cup that's been here for like a month, and so now I've got a Stanley Cup, even though it's kind of peach.
I think that was young lady crawfish boil 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was somebody.
Young lady. I'm sorry, I don't remember the ma'am's name, but
yeah,
she walked in. It was the weekend we were doing the pickle shots.
Yeah. Oh, you think this might be Stephanie's?
I think it might be Stephanie's. I think it might be hers.
I haven't seen her since, so it might be, actually.
She has some high-end gear that she brought to that party.
If it is, she bites the straw because it's got a little bend in it there.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Could you go out and get another straw? No, we can't.
I mean, my buddy Adam really cleaned out the cup, and he said the straw was clean.
Jeff, I've got some questions for you today.
Perfect. We're right at the 7-minute mark. I can put it in the comments. Hey, Cowboy stuff starts at the 7-minute mark, and people will ignore the fact that I put it in the comments and in the description, and they'll yell at me for D'ing around for 7 minutes, and I'll be like, I said right there, you can fast forward to 7 minutes if you just want Cowboy talk, and they'll be like, shut up and get to the content, and I'll be like, damn it.
I will say this, Jeff. I had some people text me that they enjoyed the 7 to 8 minutes of pre-show talk.
Yeah, we get plenty of that too. I don't want to pretend.
I don't. Yeah, thank you.
The negative is the ones that keep my attention though. My brain doesn't work right.
The negative ones they kill me too. I can't look at them. I mean, I'm very sensitive about that.
I have a question for you too, but
I've got these questions for you. Okay, happy 4th of July, Jeff. By the way, are you interested in the hot dog thing? And I'm going to tell you why I am today, which I normally am not. The hot dog eating contest.
I mean, I'm sure because it's wide open now because Joey Chestnut's not involved. Yeah.
Bingo. There's going to be controversy today. They're actually going to be – the competitors are going to be very close.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like Joey has a dragon and he's breathing fire on everybody and killing everybody like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Joey out of the contest – that kind of think we might have a miscount of hot dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe you might have to go to the tape. Maybe no, he didn't finish the hot dog. Nathan's hot dog eating championship today might be some controversy. I'm all for it.
I wish one competitor would go up there and they're like, get ready for the countdown. And then they count it down like, and they all start mashing. I wish one dude. They would just be like, and go. And he would pull little ketchup packets out of his pocket and slowly dress up a dog. And just
enjoy it.
Yeah, just eat 2 hot dogs. And then when it's over, they're like, man, you didn't do well. And he's like, yeah, but I feel great.
Yeah, I'm not stuffed at all. Matter of fact.
Yeah, a little bag of chips. He pulls out a little bag of Doritos to eat with his hot dog.
I'd love to get the announcer man, the showman guy, the guy that announces with the hat. He's got that dude.
I'd like to get him over to the house today for the party.
He is good. He is really good.
Remember 3 minutes ago when you were like, I got some Cowboy questions for you.
I got Cowboy questions for you right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. I got one for you because you keep trying to trade CeeDee Lamb and I don't like it.
No, you know what? It's funny because you and I have not talked about that. You called for questions.
Yeah, and you tried to stir it up. You were like, you think they could really trade CeeDee Lamb? And I'm like, why don't you leave people alone? Because stop it. That's a bad plan, and I don't want to talk about it.
How did that episode do for you, Jeff?
Probably pretty well. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably pretty well.
Probably did. probably did.
Don't trade your only good receiver. How about that? Let's not.
I like your plan.
Why don't we just pay the guy? How about we pay him today? The 4th of July is a great day to pay CeeDee Lamb.
You called for questions, Jeff. I gave you a question.
You're right.
Jeff, little guy that's going to shine at training camp, Turpin or Vaughn?
The tough part is that I have to pick one.
Yeah, little guy that's going to shine at training camp. When you and I are watching practice together, you're going to go, gosh dang, Turpin. Look how they used him again. Look what they did there. Vaughn, my gosh, they're throwing him the ball on 4th down. What are we doing here?
You know what? I'm going to say it's Vaughn. And I don't know if that's just me being an optimist, but Turpin has been here long enough, and I've been waiting for them to do more with him for long enough that I quit and I give up. Oh. And Deuce Vaughn is just going into year 2, and you have a very, it's not iffy. I like Rico. I'd like to apologize to Rico for what I keep saying about the running back room. I think Rico
healthy?
can play.
Can he stay
but,
healthy?
I think, training camp. I'm lying. I'm backing up. Back the truck up. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
The answer is Turpin. Training camp is.
No, wait a minute. You completely changed your answer.
Yeah, I backed up the truck. Yeah, I put it in reverse. Yeah. Because I'm doing this on the fly. We're not playing this. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm working through it as I go. The answer is Turpin because training camp.
It's about the flash.
Yeah, it's about the flash, and they'll try things they might not try otherwise, and it's easier. It's easier for the wide receiver who's running down the field to look good than the running back when on every play the defense is like, no, he would have been tackled 4 yards ago, and the offense is like, no, he scored. It's easier for the wide receiver with the scoot to look good, I think. Now,
I'm just telling you, man, I think you're going to get out to camp, and you're going, wait a minute, they're putting Vaughn in slot? They're putting Vaughn out wide? They're putting their motion. They're doing all that, Jeffrey.
Okay.
They're doing all that. You're going to that practice. I'm gonna lean over. I'm like, bro, here you go. Watch this. They're gonna motion him out of the backfield. And they're gonna put him in the slot. They're trying to make this Vaughn like he's studying Cole Beasley tape. That make any sense?
That's so weird.
I'm just telling you, bro.
I know. I got you. I know.
We're gonna get and we're gonna do a show, and you're gonna go. Bro, it's something that caught my eye today.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go, Scooty Scoot playing. They're trying to find spots for these cats. They're trying, and maybe
maybe you shouldn't have brought back a washed running back that your front office and coach love and is going to force on the field, and then maybe you could have found some spots for guys.
Jeffrey, is Marquise Bell good enough to start at safety for this team? Now, you saw him play a ton of linebacker and make a ton of tackles.
Maybe. I mean, he's a good football player. It leads me down a road to I like the safety room a lot.
Yeah.
Where
you probably like it more than a lot of people.
Where really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. I mean, J-Ron Kearse is gone, which is fine because he played bad football last year, so I don't mind at all. Donovan Wilson is fine. I don't love him, don't hate him. But I'm very intrigued by not just Marquise Bell, but when Wanye Thomas got to play football, Wanye Thomas played football.
See, all of a sudden, I'm thinking Wanye Thomas is going to be the starter over Wilson. I'm thinking it's Hooker. Man, I've thrown a lot of dirt on Hooker, and I'm going to get to Hooker here in a second.
Well, don't leave Hooker alone. That man just living his best life.
Man, there's a couple things I really do appreciate about him. But the thing about it is, the free safety part of it. Who give me range. I haven't seen Bell. Cover. I've seen Bell take on blockers, tackle, be tough and all that. But I wonder if I've not giving him enough credit that maybe he shows up as kind of a cover guy with some range. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I got a cover guy that's smart, that can tackle.
That would be nice because right now I think the only guy on this team that you have confidence that can be back there with that range is Hooker.
Yeah.
And I would like both my safeties to have that. Maybe that every team can't have two awesome deep cover guys at safety, but I sure would like it because I think we live in a world where what's becoming popular and will continue to become popular is defenses that are like, okay, all of you just want to run dig routes and slant routes and cross people up. And if you've got enough time and blah, blah, blah. And I think we're going to get to the point where it's like, we rush 5 and we play cover 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do. We're getting an extra pressure guy, and we're all going to sit and wait for you to do all your crap, and then we're going to smash you in the head. Yeah. I think that I would like to have 2 safeties that don't have to be
I don't think you're
down.
wrong, man. This defensive coordinator, he watched that Green Bay film, and he's like, how many big plays can you give up in a game?
Yeah.
You know, and
if you play softer but rush 5, you get a chance to take some of that away.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Jeffrey.
Huh?
Was Malik Hooker right to call out Micah Parsons the way he did? You and I did a show last week. We did our show early, which meant we did normal time, but we did the whole Malik Hooker stuff didn't come out. So he was right. I mean, he was right, and it was also a great lesson in how media works, because he also said that, like, he had no problem with Micah doing a podcast, et cetera, et cetera. Right.
Like, he was just, I think, he was just expressing what, like, I think that's kind of leadership.
Yeah.
Where it's just expressing that, yes, there's a reality that if you are very much out front and in public and doing other things that aren't this, then if things aren't going well, just know, like, it'll be a bad look and people are going to talk about it. If you, and you know, Micah says, look, I do that on my off day. Great. Other people do other things on their off day. Somebody's probably at the bar. Somebody's probably at the lake, whatever. It doesn't matter. Right. But I mean, that's still a reality. The reality is that if you are doing something that is public facing and you're out there and you want attention for it and it's not football, then if things don't go well football wise, you know, you're going to catch some crap. Yeah. And so you just know that. And I think that's really all he said is like, you know, if we're not kicking ass and taking names, people are going to look at it and be like, oh, but you're podcasting. Yeah. Okay. And I think Malik Hooker represents a lot of Cowboy players. I don't think he's wrong. And I think what you just said is absolutely right. And I honestly applaud the guy for doing that. And if I was if I was on the staff or the front office, and I saw Malik Hooker in the lunch line, I'd go up and give him a little fist bump, like, "Hey, thanks for saying that." You know, I think these players, guys and gals on these podcasts, they're learning that they could say stuff, and the message does get across. You know, that like, you know, we see a lot of these podcasts where it's become really interesting. These NBA players are fascinating when they do these podcasts because they say they don't care. They just say stuff, and you're like, oh, God, it's some good insight right there. But I kind of feel like that Malik Hooker saying what he said, he didn't really – he wasn't calling him out. He was just pointing out that, like, listen, if we suck on run defense, where's our priorities here? Where's the priorities of are we going to be podcast guy? Or are we going to be all-pro defender? You know, I think he probably represents a number of guys that are on the Cowboys team.
I totally agree.
That view Micah in that way. Like, I view Micah in a certain way where he's an absolutely incredible player, but there is a level of not always accountability where like, well, yeah, not my fault though. Like I did my job or whatever. And there's a level of pretending that you've seen it all and done it all. Hell, he said it out loud the one time, right? He was like, I've seen everything in this league. And I'm like, you've been in this league for like 2 years. What are you? And that, sometimes you need an old head to get in there and be like, hey, you know, there's a way that we got to do stuff. And it's hard when the guy that you're talking about is a young guy that's better than you. Yeah. That's what makes it hard for people to say things about Micah. He's better than all of you. And so it's like, who's going to correct him? And he can beat you up. So like, who's going to be like, all right, but you know, this, we want to kind of,
I always admire the teams that, and maybe I think a guy like Mike Tomlin could be this guy, where if it's a star player, a guy like a Mike Tomlin can walk up to the star player and say, bro, get your head out of your ass. You know, sometimes you're scared as a front office. You're like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to Brett Favre? What are you going to say to Reggie White? In my instance, what am I going to say to Darren Woodson? You know, what am I going to say to those guys? These guys are championship players, Pro Bowl, all-pro players, and you know, you have to be careful. You know, some take it really, really well, others don't, and so I think Micah might be one of those guys that maybe doesn't take it well, but it's not, it's something that has to be said.
Yeah, and I think the Cowboys have two of them, and it's probably their two best players.
Yeah.
It's Micah and it's CeeDee. Where Micah, I think there's just a level of maturity that you reach as you keep going. But if you're so good, so young, a lot of times it's hard to find like the humble or the or I'm just one of the guys, and we're all working towards the same goal.
Right.
There's a lot of me if you're young and awesome all the time.
Yeah. Why did it bother you so much when you called for questions? I'm circling back on that about potentially trading CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, I was just trying to jab at you. I was just trying to give you some crap. I was trying to give you. No, I get it. Like that's one of the big headlines and potentially stories.
I think I don't know if it came from his mouth, but we were hearing whispers from his camp that, hey, if you won't want to pay me, trade me, and players do that all the time through history.
Yeah.
And I wondered, and it was just when you called for questions, I'm thinking, would this team really consider doing that?
I hope not. I think it would be dumb.
I hope not either. I think it
would be really dumb. They are in an interesting spot where it's time to pay the quarterback, it's time to pay the highest paid pass rusher in football, and it's time to pay maybe the highest paid receiver in football. So I get it that there's a conversation to be had, but I think you pay them all. If CeeDee Lamb's not on this team, I don't know how this team scores points.
Yeah. Oh, you're about to, when we're going to get in training camp, if he's still holding out,
we're going to have some good days by the defense.
Watch how you and I start talking about, this looks very reminiscent of before the Amari Cooper trade.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have the
very reminiscent of, okay, well, it looks like to me Brooks had a good day today and everybody else was a bag of ass. Seriously.
And Micah Parsons is rushing the rookie left tackle while we don't have a receiver to throw the ball to.
No receiver, no running game, no nothing.
Nothing. That's why holdouts can work. If CeeDee doesn't show up, Dak's going to be looking at people like,
well, they've had a deal. We've been at camp before where Ezekiel Elliott, holdout. Been at camp before, Zach Martin, holdout. We have the nickname for the guys in the front office, call them the cavemen.
You just hold out for a bit, and eventually they cave.
You got the cavemen. You got the cavemen doing it. Jeff, when I say Brandon Aubrey, you say
badass kicker, man. What are you talking about? Brandon Aubrey's beast.
Yeah. We never talk about the kicker, but when I say Brandon Aubrey, what do you say?
I like that. I just like that you bring up the kicker because we never talk about the kicker. It's
do.
nice. I do remember talking about how they don't have a kicker and who's going to be the kicker. And that life is not all that fun. And they found a kicker that is a badass.
Yeah. Yeah. See, last year, I'm sitting on the tennis courts there in Oxnard, and Garibay and Brandon Aubrey are going at it or whatever. I think it was Garibay. No, it was Vizcaino. When Garibay was the year before. I think it was Vizcaino was the guy.
I don't know. Yeah, the Texas Tech kid, Garibay.
Well, Garibay was Texas Tech. I think he was the year before, and then last year was Vizcaino.
I believe you.
Unless I'm talking about a shortstop that plays for the White Sox right now.
I don't know.
But the set is to the right of the goalposts, and we're doing our show, and the balls are not even they're hitting us on the set. And we're doing the shows
it's like Dak's 2016 practices.
Yeah, and Derek goes, today I was going to talk about practice, but I'm going to talk about a battle that they need to think about right now. And we went into kicker talk.
Who else is out there?
And the next thing you know, the ball is just bouncing off the deck and hitting the desk and hits Ambar. And it's just crazy. And I'm like, and I couldn't even do the thing. I was turning around, watching, am I going to get hit with the Duke football is going to hit me on top of the dome and I'm going to be concussed or have stitches. But I will say this, though. Brandon Aubrey, what a breath of fresh air for this football team. To once they got rid of Vizcaino, it's he never missed.
Yeah.
He just never missed.
Yeah, he's been automatic. And part of me wants to have a bad kicker because I.
No, you don't.
Part of me, just part.
Why? Why would you say you've said some things bad today about condiments and things like that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you have a bad kicker. I'm just not going to let.
Part of me wants to have a bad kicker.
Why? Why would you ever want to have a bad kicker?
Because then you could go for it on fourth down more often. You could go for two more often. Because if you don't trust the kicker, you got to play aggressive football, and I like aggressive football.
You were like,
I'd like Aubrey to shank a few.
why? We went.
So then when 4th and 2 rolls around on the 32-yard line, we're not running out the field goal team. Run Dak out there. Let's go get it.
How many times like a McCarthy or a Garrett go for it, and you're like, this is a bad idea?
Oh, never. Oh, Brian, I want to go for it all the time. I want to be that high school coach.
Yeah,
It's 4th and 21. He's like, I don't know. We don't punt.
I know that. I knew exactly what you're saying. I think the guy's in Arkansas or something like that. He's won like 1 million games going for it every single time.
I just like, yeah, why not? It'll be fun.
So there's never been a situation where
there might. You know what? McCarthy had one, and I am like I'm.
Didn't they lose a game because I'm sorry, I'm getting old, and
he had one where a field goal I think would have made it 2 scores late or whatever, and they still won the game, and it was fine. But
he tried to explain it at the end, and he really couldn't explain why he went.
Well, and he kind of explained it in a way that I was like, I agree. Like the analytics say, and I'm an analytics guy, that if the analytics say go, you go. But I do think, well, for the most part, but I do think there are game situations where you're like, oh, this would end the game. Kick it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am generally a go for it guy. I believe in math.
Was
I
that
believe in
Seattle maybe last year?
Brian, I have the worst memory of all time.
I do too. But there was
I couldn't tell you.
There's a game where he went for it, and I think they got stopped. And then they drove down, and Dallas got a stop or something. The game ended.
Oh, that might have been
Detroit. No, Detroit was a 2-point play.
There was a Seattle game that got iffy that maybe shouldn't have gotten iffy. And
yeah,
Gino played his ass off that game.
Gino played his ass off.
Oh, that was a game where Gilmore had to save us.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore had to be like, guys, I'll go cover.
I'll go take that big monster over there. I'll go take the Dragon Man over
Hope
there.
Hope Trayvon Diggs is ready to go take over and cover big dudes. I hope he's ready right now.
You know what though, man, Diggs. I was hearing whispers about Diggs.
Uh-oh.
Like he's doing what he has to do. Not a problem. But I also heard, hey, it's going to take a little time here. He's
banked on guys coming off an ACL multiple times around here. It's not gone well yet.
The whole thing when you say it's going to take time, Diggs, Mozzie Smith, I'm starting to just go, please don't take a lot of time. You need Mozzie Smith out there practicing every day. Every day that he can practice, he needs to be practicing. And if he's standing over there next to you and I for the first 3-4 weeks of that training camp, man.
I'll invite him to the rudder room.
You invite everybody to the rudder room. And by the way, if you get invited from Jeff to go to the rudder room, you ought to go. It's a fun time.
Y'all come out to the rudder room. I'll see you there.
See you there. The mayor of the rudder room. They love us out there.
That's me.
They do love us at the rudder room. Do I have any more questions? No, I don't have more questions for you.
Good. Happy 4th of July, Brian. You going to have a hot dog today?
You know what? I think I'm going to go and do a little gambling.
Come to the house if you want.
I'm going to do some gambling.
Oh.
I gambled coming over to your house. Whether I leave your house, that's a whole other thing right there.
You
got the party going today?
Oh, yeah, my volleyball friends were just
your
like,
volleyball friends are fun.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, can we throw a party at your house for the 4th of July? And I was kind of like, yeah, keep it small. And then they were like, yeah, we'll keep it small. And then over the days, it's getting bigger and bigger. So it'll probably be bad.
They live at that place.
Village, yeah.
It's legendary for
the
like
village.
In the 70s. That place scared penicillin.
Did you say it scared penicillin?
Yeah, penicillin wanted nothing to do with that place. Penicillin shows up at a lot of places like, I can help. Shows up at the village, it's like, we're not going in. We're not going in. We're going down the road somewhere. The village, you look it up, it was crazy. I think it's still a little crazy back
there. It's wild. It's wild. Happy. I'm too old for wild. That's why I was like, yeah, we'll just keep it kind of, small.
Jeff, why do you even say that? Why do you even say that? Why do you
I'm trying to make myself.
Small? No.
I'm trying to convince myself of my age and to act it.
No.
I'm trying.
I sat there, and this will be the final act here. I know we're up against the.
Because what I always do is I start the day.
Why not just start the day fucking it up?
That's what I do.
Yeah. I will say this. I've seen you sit at your own party over kind of in the corner, And by the way, I was sitting in the corner one time. You came over and talked to me because I didn't really know many of the people.
Yeah.
And we were talking. And then you sit there, and I'm like, I wonder if Jeff's okay. And then the next thing I know, these people have got a plank with holes in it with shot glasses in it.
Yeah, the shot ski. Yeah.
It's called the shot ski.
Yeah, shot ski.
And next thing I know, you're in the middle of the shot ski with everybody. And I'm like, okay, he's okay. So,
See, and it's actually the opposite. I was doing way better when I was just sitting over there. Once I get into the shot ski game, now we're going downhill.
Yeah.
Now we're going downhill.
There's a lot of people. We have injuries at the pool, by the way. The young lady that got like concussed. What was her name? The little girl, the blonde-haired girl.
Oh, I think Angela kept trying to mix it up on the 500 game with the football.
Like her and Reggie Atatula, yeah. Like Reggie was throwing. Reggie's throwing next to me. He throws it in there. She's going for the ball.
Yeah.
She smashes her head in the back of somebody, so she's slightly concussed.
Yeah.
I notice it. I'm kind of like, they need to get her out of the pool.
Yeah, she wants to stay in the game.
She stays in the game. Very next throw,
bang,
she gets hit in the jaw.
Yeah.
And now she's taken a shot to the back of the head and a shot to the jaw. And I'm like, she needs to get out of the pool now. Like 60-year-old dad is like, get her out of the pool. And everybody's like, it's all good.
Her mom was there. She could have pulled her from the game.
I told her mom, I go, you need to get your daughter out of the pool, ma'am. I told her. By the way, the lady I was talking to, her mom, she knows a lot about football, Pittsburgh Steeler. They live in Atlanta. She's a judge. She's a judge in Atlanta, like a big-time judge.
Yeah.
But from Pittsburgh, knows a ton of Pittsburgh Steeler football. Like, her and I grew up in the same era, so, like, I hated the Steelers, and she hated the Cowboys kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another story for another day. Get her out of the pool. When you get concussed, get out of the pool.
Yes, don't swim for a half hour after having a hot dog. And if you get concussed, get out of the pool.
Don't mess up the hot dogs. Can I make one public service announcement? PSA?
Brian, you can do. Bryan Broaddus. I don't know if I've said this. If 105.3 The Fan, the G-Bag Nation 2-7.
Thank you. Not on today, but on tomorrow.
And the Love of the Star podcast. I heard CA on this morning right before we started this.
Right before we start. Okay, real quick, public service announcement. If you're cooking out today and you're responsible for the grill, don't get all drunked up. Pay attention to the grill. Nobody wants hockey puck crusted hamburgers. Nobody wants just completely charred hot dogs or chicken wings or steak or whatever. Man the grill. Don't get all liquored up. If you want to get liquored up afterwards, after you do all the cooking, do that. But don't burn all the food and make everybody out there ruin their day. Okay? Public service announcement.
Amen, Brian. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you've done.
I feel like I'm a great American.
You are. You're a fine American.
I'm a fine American. Fine. You're a fine
All
American, too.
Everybody, enjoy your day. We love you and all the things. So remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy. Brian, say something catchy.
Don't burn the food.